Most agents start the buyer relationship the exact same way. The buyer tells them 3 bedrooms, a price range, maybe a neighborhood even, and the agent immediately starts sending listings. It feels productive, something's happening, but here's the truth. Activity is not strategy. Over the next 5 lessons, I'm going to show you exactly why buyers need a standard, and more importantly, how you become the agent who creates it for them. By the end of this module, you'll know how to position yourself differently than every other agent in your market, how to lead the buyer conversation from the first interaction, and how to make sure the people you work with become confident, decisive clients, not reactive ones. This first video is the foundation. Everything else builds from here, so lock in. When the search starts, before the standard, your buyer becomes reactive. They react to photos, they react to price drops, fear, maybe whatever their friends are even saying. They react to whatever listing happens to catch their eye at 10 o'clock at night laying in bed. And reactive buyers don't make confident decisions. They make rushed ones, emotional ones they second guess at the closing table, or even worse, after closing. That's not the buyer experience you want to build an entire business on. Your job is not just to send them options. Your job is to help them create a decision standard before the market starts pulling them in 10 different directions. Because here's what most agents miss. The buyer isn't paying you to forward MLS links. That's not value. They're paying you for clarity. They're paying you for judgment. They're paying you to keep them from making a 6-figure mistake. And that starts before the first showing, not after. A buyer standard answers questions that most buyers never stop to even ask out loud. Why are we buying in the first place? What problem does this move actually need to solve for our family? And what matters most to us? Can we compromise on anything? What are the trade-offs that we're willing to make? And what would make us walk away from the deal altogether? Is there anything that needs to be true before we even step foot in a showing? When you walk a buyer through those questions, you really walk them through the process. You stop being the person that just provides access and you become the person creating clarity. And in this market, clarity is rare. Clarity is what people pay for. So here's the shift. When you start making your clarity a process and you're positioning around, I can help you find homes, stop positioning yourself as I can just help you find homes. That's a commodity state. Start positioning yourself as I help buyers make clear, confident decisions before the market pressures them into rushed ones. That's a completely different level of value, and it attracts a completely different level of client. Before you move to the next lesson, I want you to do 2 things. Write them down. Don't just think about them in your head. 1, what do buyers usually misunderstand before they start looking at homes? And 2, what standard do I help them create before the search begins? Those 2 answers become the foundation for everything we build across the rest of this module. You now understand why your value as a buyer's agent begins long before the search does. And in the next lesson, we're going to take that value and turn it into a positioning language, and I'll give you the exact words you use so that buyers feel the difference the moment they meet you. I'll see you there.